365. How awesome is that? And I'm actually, I'm going to get this glare off my glasses. I'm actually on Restream so that I'm on all three of my channels. How cool. So I challenged a friend to do daily lives so that we can be accountability partners. And so we have a chat if you want to do daily lives with us for the year. Put you in our chat. And she also created a thread in her school, alive, um, for any kind of accountability. So just want to throw that out there because she's awesome and we're awesome and we've both been doing it. It's makes things easier when you know somebody's doing it with you. And that's kind of the whole topic of this live. I was chatting with Brad Walsh earlier today, and as we were chatting, I had just invited him recently to come on my podcast because he's coming out from behind the mic and actually showing us Brad a little deeper, a lot deeper. And I was telling him that I have three episodes coming out next week. I did 19 in 2025. I have 3 episodes next week on my podcast, and I've also scheduled, so I'm doing a live TV kind of broadcast as a guest tomorrow evening. I guess it's not live. I take that back. I think we record tomorrow and it comes out Monday, but it's on their like YouTube channel and all kinds of other things. So it's really cool. And then I have a connection call tomorrow also to be on another podcast. And I have 2 more scheduled and 1 more that I still need to book, and a couple forms that I filled out, waiting for feedback on those. Yeah, it's only 6 days into the year, and my next 10 days are awesome. We've booked with visibility, so that's so cool. Courtney, this is amazing. Thank you for being my accountability partner. But that's kind of what this topic came about as I was chatting with Brad. He was like, "That it's so awesome." And I said, "Yeah, I blame you." And he's like, "What do you mean you blame me?" And I said, "You are the one that sparked me starting my podcast." I had a session, podcast coaching session with him during the Empowerography conference in 25. And the morning that we had our call, I thought, I'm going into this call to learn about being a podcast guest, and make some connections through him and stuff like that. That morning, my boys told me that you're starting your own, and you'll be a guest too. But so we kind of talked more about starting my own, and that's where Breaking the Silence came from. So as we're chatting, and I was like, this just sparked my live topic for today, and I just haven't had a chance to get on because I've been winning at resting and being, and worked a little bit on my website, but I just hadn't jumped on live until now. But we talk, often. You hear me talk about it a lot, and I hear it from other people. We are not meant to do this human experience alone. And let me check something. I want to make sure. Hopefully you're hearing me, because I don't think my headset is actually. connected. Okay, it's not, because I turned it off and back on, and then I didn't realize it didn't connect. I was gifted, kind of gifted, those beats, which are awesome. Thank you, Max. Because I know that my audio is kind of funky sometimes on my laptop. It's really old, and it's going to need replaced soon. So that's one of my goals this year. But anyway, we're not intended to do this by ourselves. We need support. We need people. We have soul contracts. I talked about that a couple days ago. And we meet the people we're supposed to meet. And I was thinking about it. I met Brad 5 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that, through Monique Alvarez. I was in a group with her learning how to set up my own publishing company. And Brad was in the group also. And that's how I met Brad. And then through Brad, I met Cecilia. And it was just 6 or 8 months later that I was on Empowerography live conference 4 years ago. I've been on it 3 years in a row. So how awesome is that? And then Cecilia and I ended up connecting, and she's a soul sister, and I have met so many amazing people through her also. I was in a mastermind with her for almost 2 years, and I talked about these 4 women that I was in this mastermind with before my oldest son died. We started, and they were with me through all of that, through both of my boys. And those women are the reason I'm still here and in the capacity that I'm in, because they helped me. They were my rock. I also met Holly Starr through Cecilia, and have been in several containers with her, and done so much expansion and growth from her work, and met other amazing people through her. When we're consciously making aligned connections and we're finding those people that we have soul contracts with, the ripple effect is amazing. If I hadn't been in that group with Monique 6 or 7 years ago, I wouldn't have met Brad. I wouldn't have met Cecilia. I wouldn't have met Holly and Denise and Michelle, and it just goes on and on. And that ripple effect, and like I said in the intro, the 6 degrees of separation. And it matters who you align yourself with. Not all connections are meant to be long term. Not all connections are meant to be close circles, soul family. But I believe that we don't make any connections by chance. I don't believe that there is, I can't think of the word, nothing's by chance, that it's all synchronistic. Even if it's momentary, we don't know what somebody we meet in passing needed from us, or we needed from them. But that's not, meant to be a long-term thing. But some connections are. And as we grow and expand, we meet new people. We move into different rooms. We move into different circles. We're not meant to do this alone. We need that support. We need those circles. We need those connections. And we learn from them, and we fulfill those soul contracts along the way that we were intended to have with those people, or the lessons we chose to learn with them, or they chose to learn from us. And that's what all of my offers stem from, is that connection and that guidance, because my experiences and my stories help other people. And that's the beauty of what we go through and what we experience and what lessons we chose to learn so that we could help others and serve others and lead. I talk a lot about radical self-leadership. By leading myself and staying in alignment for me, then it creates that ripple effect of who I come in contact with and who I align myself with. And my circle will get bigger, or I go into new ones, I go into new rooms. Monique, I have been back in groups and containers with her for the last 6 or 8 months again, after not being closely connected, because she was off for like a year, doing what was in alignment for her and on her path. And now I'm learning from her again in a whole different kind of way, which is really awesome. And I've met some really awesome new people that now I'm collaborating with, and now I'm in their circles and have met new people through them. So it's just a constant growth and expansion of who you're meeting and who you meet through them. And that's why I love Courtney's school group. It's called Alive, and that's what she's doing. She's bringing all these people together from all over the world, and she's a connector, and which that's why we hit it off, because that's one of my superpowers, is bringing people together in sacred spaces and letting them share their stories and who they are and what they're doing in this world. I love her group in the school because it's not business. It's more about you guys would click, and what are you doing? And it's more of a curated social thing that's not so noisy as Facebook or most of the other platforms. And we're going to be learning from each other and hanging out with each other and doing all kinds of, we're doing great things. We're going live every day, and I have not been on the Move Your Ass yet in there because it's way too early in the morning for me. But I can go back and watch the replays, and we have the accountability thread in there. So whatever, it doesn't have to do with business. It doesn't have to do with going live. Visibility, whatever you might want to commit to for yourself, but you want that accountability. So if you want to, I was talking with Stephanie on Coffee Chat yesterday, and we were talking about reading more. She wants to read more this year. If you want accountability for that, you can jump in there. If you want accountability for whatever, it doesn't have to be any certain topic. It doesn't have to be anything that anybody else is doing. Just having that group and that accountability to say, hey, I did it. And we're there to cheer you on and say, all right, awesome. Or to join with you, whatever. And that's how we stay strong and we stay more aligned because we're not just out here as digital entrepreneurs without any connections and without any collaboration. These circles that I put myself into and these different rooms and classes and masterminds, when they're aligned, they help so much, and you get that intimacy of other people, and you get to be vulnerable and intimate with them and get that reciprocated. So when things do happen, like losing my boys, I had that support, and those women had not experienced that, but they knew me, and I knew them, and they were there, and they energetically supported me, and they let me come as I am, and and we all did that, because everybody has things that go on in life, and knowing that you have those people that you can reach out to, that's huge, and that's where my offers come in, because I can be that support and that guide for other people to say, hey, I'm here, I've experienced this, and these are the lessons I learned. No, your path may not be exactly the same, but I can still support you, and I can still hold you, and I can hold that space as you go through it, so you're not trying to navigate it by yourself. Because when we try to navigate it by ourselves is when we often get stuck. So thank you to all of you amazing people that I have gotten to connect with and collaborate with. And this year it's going to need even more, because I'm meeting new people like crazy, and it's just all clicking in amazing alignment. And yeah, I have 2 books coming out this month. Not my own, but in multi-author books. I'm writing in the second one. And I'm hoping 20 Shades of Grey is coming out. Waiting still for editing and getting all the final things wrapped up. But it's exciting, and it's moving quickly, but not overwhelmingly. So that's so cool. If you're looking for those kind of connections that are authentic and real and intimate, reach out. And between me and the people I have in my small circles and intimate circles, there will be people that you'll connect with and align with, and other people that will help grow and expand you. We're so individual, and God, if we were all the same, how boring would that be? I don't want all of my friends and family and soul family to be the same. I want to learn from people. I want to be stretched and be pushed and have that growth and expansion. So my link is in the intro, so you can go check out all my links. I'm still working on my website, but it'll be on my link tree soon, and so you can get to know me a little deeper. And I'm putting up my speaking and media page. That was the whole point of today, working on that today, so that I have kind of a living one sheet, since that is one of my biggest things this year, is visibility and more speaking and writing opportunities. So that's in the works, and yeah, it's just fun. It's not even a week into the year, and it's just been amazing, and it's all because of who I surround myself with, and staying consciously connected to my power and my soul, and being open to making those connections that are aligned and feeling into the energy of it, so that I know that they are going to be positive for me and raise my vibration, and I can help raise theirs. That's what it's all about, is being there for each other. So that's my spiel for today. I will be back tomorrow, and tomorrow probably will be much shorter because I have what's going on tomorrow. It's a long day, so but I'm excited because we have 2 networking mixers, and I have 2 guests, well, a coffee chat and a guest interview, and yeah, I'm excited. It's, it's just like, and then Brad sent me that his activation meditation that was just exactly what I needed today, this afternoon, and it was just beautiful. So thank you, Brad. And that's what this whole live stemmed from. So yeah, but reach out. Um, Even if you just reach out and say hi, I will chat with anybody as long as you're not creepy. As long as the energy is not creepy. So have a great rest of your night or day, whatever time it is, and I will see you tomorrow.